waiting on God is a very difficult thing to do. I think as human beings, we're wired to want the next thing or the next adventure or the next stage in life. I know if you're anything like me, I'm always looking for the next win or the next kind of breakthrough or the next stage of life. So I think that's how we're generally wired. So then to wait is really difficult. It's not easy. So I think that's the first thing to acknowledge, that waiting is a difficult thing to do. How we do it is, I think, there's a number of things. I think it's realizing that the one we're waiting on is good, that God's purposes are good, that he has good things for us, and that just because we have to wait doesn't mean to say that he's bad, that God is bad. And sometimes waiting for something means it's sweeter and more beautiful when it actually comes. I think another aspect of it is that in the waiting, God is often at work in the process of waiting. So in that time when we wish we were here and the kind of the answer to our prayer or the answer to what we're praying about is over here, and we wish we jumped from there straight away, but actually it's in the process that God does so much in our lives, that God works, that God teaches us, that God disciplines us, that God helps us, trains us, does so much in our lives in that waiting period. So I think realizing that God is good, realizing there's purpose in the waiting. And I think the other thing is it's Isaiah 55. It's the whole thing that God's ways are not my ways. The challenge about waiting is it's clashing between what we want and then God's plans and purposes. And I think sometimes we need to realize that what we want and the timescale is not always the right thing or the best thing for us, because God's ways are not our ways, and so his plans and purposes are better and in the long run more beautiful and more fulfilling. But there's like this clash that happens, and that's why waiting can be so difficult.